Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Where's this thing here? There we go. Yeah. And we're in the home stretch in our Janacek series, working backwards through the alphabet. Boy, did I have a lot of Janacek, and it's so cool. It really is. I'm so happy I managed to amass as much as I did. It was all coming out as Janacek was becoming a thing, a major name in 20th century music, both for his operas and other works, all of which are so quirky and personal and marvelous and special. And today, we are only talking about iconic versions of the string quartets. We have 5 different contenders. I think they're all Czech. Yeah, they seem to be, for the most part. And we begin with the excellent Praga Quartet. Oh, they're marvelous. Well, this is Harmonia Mundi, but Praga Digitals. The label is Praga, which was owned by Harmonia Mundi, which is now part of Out There, which is now part of Acte. It's French. These are wonderful, because not only do you get the 2 string quartets, but you also get the violin sonata with Václav Remesh violin and Sachiko Kayahara piano. Sachiko Kayahara, I gather, is not Czech, but it doesn't matter. The performances are terrific. These are so exciting. I mean, and these quartets are such thrilling works. I've said it a billion times already. It's impossible to describe them. The first is based on Tolstoy's Kreutzer Sonata, and it's about a domestic violence, essentially, an abused woman. The second, Intimate Letters, is a narrative of Janacek's love affair with Kamila Stalslova, with whom he was desperately in love. She was about 300 years younger than he was, and married, and had a kid. They never had anything sexual between them, but she was his muse, his feminine ideal. In fact, he caught pneumonia and died while going out to get her little son. That's where he caught the chill that eventually killed him when he was 72 or so. But 74, pardon me. Be that as it may, these are great string quartets, and that's on Praga Digitals. Then we have, the Panocha Quartet. These are like my faves. This is an extra. I have extras of all of this stuff because, being paranoid, schizophrenic, and obsessive compulsive, you never know when these things are going to go out of print and when they'll be available again or how they'll be available again, even on streaming. Streaming services are supposed to make everything available all the time, easily. They don't. Not in the world of classical music, of course, because nobody knows what it is, and so it's all screwed up. Beautiful, beautiful performances, no coupling, no fillers, just the 2 quartets, and they're short. The 2 of them together combined play for between 40 and 45 minutes. So, it's not long playing time, but Janacek gives you so much bang for your buck. I mean, it's like having a car that gets 100 miles to the gallon. I mean, just a couple minutes of Janacek packs in so much incident and music and energy and expression that you don't feel that it should be any longer than it really is. Then we've got, these. Okay, this is with the Škampa Quartet, a younger Czech quartet, and they are absolutely first class as well. I mean, really terrific. A little bit as befits a youthful group, a little bit more urgent, perhaps, than the Panochas, a little bit more edgy, but just marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. This is on Superfun, as was the Panocha Quartet's version. So that's one that's worth hanging on to. And then, of course, the Tallech Quartet. Wow, on Calliope, which is now La Dolce Volta. They took over the Calliope catalog, or Calliope, if you want to call it in French. And in this case, we've got, first of all, this is the Tallech Quartet with Tallech still there, the older Tallech Quartet, with Jan Tallech playing viola. So you've got the 2 quartets in splendiferous performances. And then you've got On an Overgrown Path, the piano suite played by the great Czech pianist Radoslav Kvapil, who did all the Dvorak piano music and whatnot for Superfun. So this was also wonderfully worth hearing. This was directed by George Kisselhoff. He was the Calliope guy. In 1985, and it's there. iconic performances. These all are. It's like unbelievably, amazingly amazing. Okay, so there's that one. And last but not least, I mean, the classic Smetana Quartet on Denon, their digital remakes. Remember, we talked about their earlier recordings that were available on Testament. They were EMI/HMV/Warner/whatever label happens to be this week. That was their earlier recordings. These are their later ones, based on the new additions they did to the score, featuring a demonically fast account of the finale of the second quartet. They have a different style than the other Czech quartets. I think a somewhat smoother sound overall, but just as exciting and beautifully balanced and intense. A wonderful group, and this is fantastic. And one of the classic Janacek quartet versions. You know, back in the day, when the Janacek quartets weren't as well known as they are now, you had basically the Janacek quartet doing the Janacek quartets, and you had Smetana and a couple other Czech groups, and nobody else would touch them. So this was like really a big deal when these came out, in digital sound, and they sounded fabulous. And yes, so there you have it, a remarkable selection of Janacek string quartet performances by Czech quartets, and by no means all of the Czech quartets who have done them. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.